He was the voice of resilience, a fighter who turned pain into platinum. But behind Jelly Roll's tattoos and triumphs, a silent battle raged, hidden from even his closest fans. Then, one backstage moment cracked everything wide open and left his team shaken. The signs were there, but did anyone see them in time? Jelly Roll was never just a hitmaker, he was a symbol of survival. From prison to the Grammy stage, his life felt like a movie. Gritty, raw, full of heart. But even the strongest voices can falter. Behind closed doors, he carried a burden darker than anyone knew. Sources say recent events rocked him. While fans cheered, Jelly Roll faced a crisis. One threatening his health, relationships, and will to keep going. This wasn't scandal. It was real life. The kind of struggle he's always rapped and sung about. Now crashing in for real. Addiction, anxiety, old traumas creeping back. In interviews, he hinted at dark days, but no one knew how close to the edge he really was. It started small, missed calls, canceled shows, a distant look. Then came the breaking point, a private emergency that changed everything. Still, he did what he always does, smiled for the fans. But the mask is slipping, and now, the truth is surfacing. What's really happening behind the music, the tours, and the spotlight? And the haunting question, can Jelly Roll survive this fall? Before the fame, before the sold-out shows, he was Jason DeFord, a kid from Antioch, Tennessee, where dreams rarely came true. Born December 4th, 1984, he grew up in hardship, with a mother battling addiction and a father selling meat from a truck to survive. Life was rough, but music became his escape, especially the kind that told the truth. Rap became his refuge. Jason was drawn to artists like Tupac and 3 6 Mafia, men who wore pain like armor and turned scars into anthems. He started writing rhymes, chasing something bigger, but the streets called louder. By his teens, his life mirrored the lyrics he admired. At 14, he was arrested. By 16, in and out of juvenile detention. A felony charge soon followed, a mark that could have ended everything. But something in him wouldn't quit. Behind bars, Jason found his voice. He filled notebooks with verses, turning pain into poetry. For him, writing wasn't therapy, it was survival. When he got out, he took the name Jelly Roll, a childhood nickname from his mom, and turned it into a badge of truth. He hustled mixtapes from his trunk, played underground gigs, and linked with southern rap crews. The grind was relentless. No industry backing, just raw honesty and hustle. His songs weren't stories, they were confessions, addiction, poverty, redemption, and slowly, people started to listen. Still, the industry didn't embrace him. Jelly Roll didn't fit the mold, tattooed, emotional, heavy set, but that's exactly why fans connected. He was real, and they felt it. Offstage, life was changing too. He became a father young, and his daughter, Bailey Ann, gave him purpose. Later, he met Bunny, a podcaster and model who became his wife and his anchor. Family grounded him. Through tours and fame, he stayed vocal about what mattered most: love, fatherhood, and breaking the cycle he was born into. But the demons never left. Jelly Roll has been honest about his battles with addiction and mental health. Fame didn't erase the pain, it just added pressure. His unexpected rise in country music shocked many, even him. But when he blended raw lyrics with country soul, something clicked. Suddenly, a new audience found Jelly Roll and saw more than an artist. They saw a survivor. His breakout hit, Son of a Sinner, captured the inner war he'd always lived: faith versus failure, redemption versus relapse. The song launched him into the spotlight, leading to awards, TV appearances, and a tearful Grand Ole Opry debut. For a kid from Antioch, it was a surreal, full-circle moment, but the weight of his past never left. Jelly Roll often says he doesn't care about fame, he cares about impact. He wants broken people to feel seen, but carrying that mission is heavy. With success came pressure, expectations, anxiety, sleepless nights, and lately, the cracks have started to show. Insiders say the burden of his past, family, career, and public image is catching up. Quiet health scares, burnout, and emotional tension are all mounting beneath the surface. He's still smiling for cameras, still showing up for fans. But those closest to him say he's changed, more distant, more reflective, wrestling with whether he can ever truly escape the pain he sings about. That's where we find him now, a man caught between who he was and who he's trying to become. A father, husband, artist, and a soul searching for peace in a world that won't stop pulling him into the fire. What comes next? No one knows. But one thing's clear, the fight isn't over, and the next chapter may be his most defining yet. For months, quiet whispers echoed through his camp, not from gossip columns, from those who know him best. His crew, his family, even Bunny, his wife, they saw it. The fatigue, the distance, the nights he seemed lost in his own mind. Then came the moment that shook everything. A medical emergency just before a major show. Jelly Roll collapsed in his dressing room. 1 second calm, the next chaos. EMTs rushed in. His blood pressure spiked. He was pale, shaking, gasping for breath. To fans, it was exhaustion. But insiders knew better. This wasn't just being tired, it was a cry for help. Doctors urged him to stop, rest, heal. But Jelly Roll, ever the fighter, resisted. There were shows booked, fans waiting. He couldn't let people down, not when he knew what that felt like. But behind the scenes, it was clear. Years of pressure, emotional weight, and unspoken pain had pushed him too far. It wasn't just that one moment. There were other signs. A missed podcast with Bunny, rare for them. Silence on social media, canceled interviews without warning. The man who bared his soul so openly had gone quiet. And then came the confession. Not in headlines, but a quiet late-night live stream. No PR spin, just Jelly Roll, lit by a single lamp, speaking not as a star, but as a man in pain. "I ain't been okay," he admitted, his voice cracking. "I thought I could carry it all, but I can't. I've been scared, tired, and ignoring my own warning signs for too long." Jelly Roll opened up about the weight of performing while battling anxiety and panic attacks. He confessed he had fallen back into unhealthy habits, not drugs, but emotional eating, isolation, and pushing his body to the brink. What made the moment so powerful wasn't just his honesty, but his humility. The man who once faced prison walls and addiction now admitted something harder. He was human, and he needed help. In the days that followed, fans flooded him with love, support, and understanding. His wife, Bunny, shared her own message, reminding everyone that true strength isn't about always being okay. It's about knowing when to pause, heal, and ask for grace. But as the dust settled, a deeper truth surfaced, one that shook his followers to their core. Doctors revealed Jelly Roll was at serious risk of long-term health complications. High blood pressure, chronic stress, and cardiac strain were all signs of a ticking clock. He had a choice: take a break and heal now, or risk not being here to finish his legacy. It was a wake-up call he couldn't ignore. Quietly, Jelly Roll pulled back from upcoming shows, prioritizing recovery, physically, emotionally, spiritually. He reconnected with therapy, started working with a trainer, and embraced spiritual practices he'd neglected in the whirlwind of success. Jelly Roll began opening up to his family, confronting buried fears, and facing the truth that pain never fully leaves, it just hides in new places. This chapter is different. It's not about bouncing back from failure. It's about choosing to live fully even when breaking. This moment could be the most pivotal of his life, not because of the crisis, but because of what he decides next. Will he return stronger, or let the weight of expectations pull him back into the grind that almost cost him everything? One thing is clear: Jelly Roll's story isn't finished. It's still being written. Heroes need healing too, and as fans, we hope that when he steps on stage again, it's not just for us, but because he's truly ready, healthy, whole, and ready to begin again. Jelly Roll's legacy isn't just about chart-topping hits, but the lives he's changed off stage. He's used his platform to raise visibility for the overlooked, the incarcerated, the addicted, and the brokenhearted. One of his most powerful acts was returning to the juvenile detention center in Nashville where he was once held. donating $250,000 to build a music studio for young inmates. He's also become a fierce advocate for mental health, addiction recovery, and criminal justice reform, using his voice to support those in need. With Bunny So, he created Dumb Blonde, a podcast where trauma, recovery, and redemption are openly discussed, offering emotional refuge to listeners. Jelly Roll's concerts have become more than shows. They're therapy sessions where fans heal together. His message is clear: your past doesn't define your future. Redemption is messy, but possible. Now, as he faces his hardest chapter, Jelly Roll's legacy feels more urgent than ever. Not from fear, but from faith. Faith that he can rise again, not for fame, but for himself. Jelly Roll's story isn't a fairy tale. It's a battle-scarred ballad full of mistakes, heartache, comebacks, and unfinished lines. And that's what makes it powerful. When he steps on stage, he brings all of it with him. And when he disappears from the spotlight, we're reminded even heroes need rest. If his music has ever helped you, now it's our turn to support him. If you're facing your own battle, let his story remind you. You're not alone. You matter. And it's never too late to begin again. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos, and don't forget to press the bell icon.